There is an endless sea of podcasts about entrepreneurship. Talking about it, but not living it. We live it every day. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle, talking about real estate investing, but also encompassing general subjects in regards to owning small to medium-sized businesses. And of course, all the struggles that business owners must overcome to be successful. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, and this is Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Welcome to Inside the Wolf's Den. My name is Shawn Wolfswinkle.
And I'm Joni Wolfswinkle.
You look very beautiful today.
Thank you.
You always do, but yeah, I appreciate it.
How's your week so far?
It's been interesting.
Yeah.
Always seems like a big challenge, but I'm grateful. I'm happy for the challenges, and but it's So I'm obviously being very sarcastic, but No, I mean, I really, truthfully, no, it's been grateful. We learned a lot. I think through all the challenges, you take another step and advance yourself and learn things about you and relationships. And so I think it's been a good week, but a very tough week. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, well, I mean, our kids went back to school today, so that was a new beginning for them. And also, it's I don't know about you guys, but I've been like out of my routine. I mean, I've been making the best of it, but still, we've all been out of our routines. And today was like the first step. I felt like great about myself, getting up, getting the kids up in the morning, and getting their lunches ready, all that good stuff. I felt great about it, so I'm excited that they're back in school.
Grateful for routines.
Yes, grateful for routines. So,
we I hope you guys have been enjoying the podcast so far and getting a lot of it. We're getting good feedback, and so we're just going to keep delivering on that. And it's been coming up a lot. And at lunch today, I had a conversation with an employee that's gone through a lot, and she was one thing that's got her through a lot of it is just gratitude and being grateful, and she does small little measures and steps that a lot of them what we're going to talk about later, but just to reemphasize and bring up those moments of gratitude again that helps her get through challenging times. And so
that's awesome. So let's define gratitude. It's an affirmation that there are good things in the world, right? It doesn't mean we accept reality, but we accept the challenges and find goodness where it exists. Yeah. And I think, and that's actually one of our core values in our company is to appreciate the challenges and the results that we overcome from those challenges, right? And that's something that we've preached with our staff, and we work on this every single day. And we actually had our customer service workshop today, and our staff is constantly being challenged with it's just the industry that we're in. And so, we coach them to come out positive and, come out with an open mind, and the results that they see because of just being positive with a smile on their face is it gets them through that.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you don't know or you haven't listened in the past, we are in the property management space, which is
it can be negative,
very tough business, and the dynamics of it is tough. Having different owners, dealing with the owner, dealing with the tenant, and us being stuck in the middle. So some difficult conversations, but I think it was great today. We listened to a live call and got to hear and see where showing gratitude, showing appreciation, and all that can get you a long way.
Yeah. I mean, a simple. A resident just calling in that, is completely heated, and it maybe, things didn't go his way or her way. But I mean, you come in with, a positive tone, it automatically changes their perspective of things, and they can't be mad at you. They can't, yell at you on the other side because you are so kind to them.
And I think smiling, even through the phone.
Smiling through the pain, no matter what.
And so I think even that can be heard. I think you can sense that even smiling through a phone, and people can hear it on the other side, and and feel it. So yeah, I think smiling, right, is a huge.
It's huge. And this week, and like you just talked about having a tough week this week, and it seems like every week we're like, man, like we just got punched in the face this week, and another week goes by, man, we just got punched in the face again. But you smile through that, and it's like you can overcome anything with just smiling and being positive.
Changes your mood.
It does.
Changes the
Reduces the stress, and yeah.
Awesome. And what about being more positive? How do you demonstrate that? What do you do to show? Like give us some realistic things that you do.
Yeah, for me, like it's self-talk, and I try to stay away from the negative as much as possible. And that's one thing that I struggled with this week is, it seemed like there was a lot of negative going on. And so trying to get away from that was difficult for me. And I slipped a couple of times. I had to take a step back and be like, Joni, take a deep breath.
I was at the other end of
yes,
this.
See the goodness in it. And, at the end of the day, just writing, what I'm grateful for. And that's something that I do every day. And we're going to share some tips on, how you can practice this in your everyday life. And something that I do every day is I express gratitude by just writing what I'm grateful for today. And you can do that by, starting off.
A journal?
Yes, I do it in a journal. You can start off by doing it once a week and then, maybe twice a week until you get into doing it every single day. But it makes a world of difference. Yeah. And then just trying to stay away from the negative.
Yeah. I think something I've done personally is, in my morning routine, I start off every day with gratitude. So, and I think you've heard this in other podcasts, but, I just start every one of my mornings with gratitude. And of course, there's some days that it might only be I'm grateful for, my wife, my kids. But, if you look for it, you can, and it changes and it starts me off on the right tone, the right mood for the day. And this goes before I ever look at my phone, any of it. I wake up with and start looking for gratitude.
Yeah. So. And I think, that's a good point when you bring up when you look at your phone, because I think that a lot of us, the first thing that we do in the morning is we go to our phone and check our emails or check Facebook. And I know for myself, when I do that and I see that one negative Facebook post or that one negative email from, a resident or a client or something, it automatically sets your day it
derails you.
Yeah, it derails you. And so, and then you spend time trying to get your state of mind back. Yeah. And so that's why it's good for you to practice, gratitude the first thing in the morning, because you're already coming in with a positive attitude, a positive mind. So when you do get that email or you do get that, or you look at that post, it's not going to affect you as much.
Do you have a way to lower that, your stress levels, and to do that, to find? I feel like if you're more you're more full of appreciation and gratitude if you're less stressed, less the anxiety or the the pressure. Do you find I know this week I think a lot of what had to do with especially in our organization was just there was a lot of pressure, a lot of things were going on.
Yeah, and for me again, journaling and meditating, and then I always like to ask myself, okay, what did I learn from that today? And that's you can do this, and it's good for you to do that. It might not be peachy, it might not be perfect, but at least you can say, what did I learn from that today? And that's how you can see the goodness in it.
Yeah. Something that I learned earlier today was about breathing, and just how breathing can make such a big difference and change that state as well. So I think I'm not an expert at this at all, but so I would research some, maybe breathing apps or that can help you, and I think, or meditation apps. But then also I think it was on another podcast I had heard. It's a doctor that has focused on it, but he talked about, when if you're something in a really bad mood or something happens and you just need to change that state and relax and just. It was take 2 deep breaths in and then exhale. So normally we breathe in and then breathe out, but take 2 deep breaths in and then exhale. It immediately changes. And then another one was for anxiety. at night, if you get anxiety, try doing, listening to your breathing, do 25 deep breaths or strong, breaths in and out. And then on your last 25th one, exhale and just hold it for 15 minutes. You're going to pass out 15 seconds. And that just, again, creates,
those techniques, they do help. And you tell me that all the time, like, just breathe, Joni, just breathe, it does help. But you just asked me what other things that I do. I feel working out and exercising is also a great, thing to do when you're stressed out or you have anxiety. It just takes your mind off of it. It gives you energy.
Going for walks really helps clarify and brings out gratitude. Just being out, like, except for in Houston when it's as hot as it is now in August. But I mean, normally, like, you go out, maybe going late in the evening, or I would prefer like in the sun. Like, I think because the sun, the light, there's something with the light and being outdoors and just no phone, no interruptions, and just a clear mind, and just you can focus and be at peace, and it makes a huge difference as well.
Yeah, so. Gratitude goes a long way, and with your family and your kids. I mean, when you get home at night and you've had a bad day, like it's not their fault that you had a bad day. Yeah. So it's important that you practice gratitude. I
think for like hard drivers, and I would say that. You put us in that category. People that like just push all the time, and just want to achieve more and achieve more. I think sometimes we can fall into the trap of, only rewarding ourselves or like feeling appreciation or gratitude or once we've achieved a certain milestone. So, or like once I get there, once I accomplish this. And it happens
to successful people all the time. I mean, they reach a certain level or they reach that goal, and it's like, okay, crap, now what? It's like,
and usually there's always a fault. It follows with it's still a hole or a need, and something that I've tried to really change. And I'm not perfect at it again, but is rewarding myself or having internal rewards throughout the whole process.
Exactly.
So rewarding
the little wins.
Yeah, the little wins or the little. The little painful moments. And I think a great example is like David Goggins, Living with a Seal. He's probably the most known for this because like if you really listen to a lot of his stuff, he doesn't care about running the 50-mile race or finishing this or, the place where he plays. He actually rewards himself, throughout the, just for, that last mile or how quickly he ran that last time, whatever it is, like whatever he's accomplishing, the little things there, not the end result or not finishing the race, but the things he did to finish that race. Right. And so you're rewarding yourself. I think it speeds things up for you. You don't get burnout as bad. And then you're not having those pitfalls or those empty things at the end when you achieve something and it's like it didn't bring you the happiness that you
then you're always trying to achieve that happiness that you're never going to achieve,
because there's never going to, it doesn't matter like how much money or cars or anything, and you got to really reward yourself throughout the whole journey, and reward you. And this is something that I'm doing right now, and I'm working on it on myself because it took me a long time to figure that out. I wanted to achieve so much, and what I found out was when I got to certain places that I had really visualized and dreamed of, it was like there was some big empty holes at the end and some moments of like lost, and it's like and yes, I could have raised the bar and could have gone after more, but the problem is, it would have had the same result after I achieved that. And I don't know what damages I would have done with relationships or all that trying to get there. So I'd rather, to me, I've been focused more on the journey, the relationships with you, with our kids. Those have been much more higher importance, and so I've been focused on those two, and more grateful for those relationships and those because those are meaningful. Right. Those are going to last.
Yeah, those are what's going to last.
Spiritual, because I think no matter what your beliefs are, we're going to go somewhere after we die, and so that that relationship as well. And so to me, that is a focus because these are things again they're going to last.
Yeah.
And so those have been the focus of where I've been, or the relationships, that I encounter with, employees or staff members or vendors or whoever I come in contact, trying to be more aware and more present with those. And so I think you were bringing that up earlier about being present.
Yeah. And I think this is now that you mention all that, I think a good way to end it is one of my favorite poems, actually, by Linda Ellis. And actually, a good friend of ours, Patrick Precourt, he read this at one of our CG masterminds a couple of years ago, if you remember that. And I've had this poem on my desk ever since, and it's kind of my constant reminder to, live life to the fullest, appreciate more, love more, and to be grateful for everything, really. So I'll end it with that, and with the dash. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For the dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who love them know what the little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be arranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quicker to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that the special dash might only last a while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things you say about how you spent your dash?
That's awesome.
So,
thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, great. And that was awesome. I think it was meaningful. And so hopefully, our viewers and listeners got a lot out of that. And so please continue to share it. If you think somebody needs to hear this, and please
go live your
it.
dash.
Yes. Live it to the fullest. Be grateful. Appreciate the journey. And please share and give us feedback. We'd love to hear it. So have a great week.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Shawn and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. Talking. But Joni and Shawn are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.